and welcome to Jesus Christ Prison Ministry and another video Bible study. Our topic, Deuteronomy chapter 22. If you see your brother's ox or sheep straying, do not ignore it, but be sure to take it back to him. If the brother does not live near you, or if you do not know who he is, take it home with you and keep it until he comes looking for it. Then give it back to him. Do the same if you find your brother's donkey or his cloak or anything he loses. Do not ignore it. How many Christians go along and when they find a $20 bill on the road say, "Woo, God blessed me." Maybe God is testing you. Do we look after other people's property? Do we care about others as we would ourselves? I think in the Bible, isn't there a verse that says, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you"? I have a feeling that Christians are only Christians in name. It's about time they stand up, take responsibility for their lives, and begin obedience to the laws of God. If you see your brother's donkey or his ox fallen on the road, do not ignore it. Help him get it to its feet. Even if it's your enemy's donkey or whatever, your enemy's car broken down, help him. Our whole purpose in life is to be a blessing. What others do to us, that's on them. But we are only to provide the blessings that God has given us to them. A woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear women's clothing, for the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. In the world today, those under the control of Lucifer are trying to destroy the image of God in man. All this unisex stuff, same clothes for everybody, bathrooms for everybody, names for everybody, it's all the same, no gender is to be allowed. All of that is of the devil. God created mankind. Man was created in the glory of God. Woman in the glory of man. And we men are to represent God in all that we do, the love of God. But the world wants to destroy God's image. It hates God. Lucifer is doing all he can to destroy God. But let me tell you a little secret. The laws of God are just because God is a just God. He created us. He knows what's best for us. The natural order of things is wickedness will produce wickedness. It will produce problems and trouble. And society, right now with all their liberal expressions, is trying to do away with God, and they think that they're smarter than God, and all these rules they're putting out to destroy the laws of God will come back to bite them. And when it does, these so-called liberals will become the greatest conservatives. You see, when everybody else is following the law, and you can shoot down the freeway, breaking the law, or do it your way, hey, that's fine. You see, the liberal says that's great. Everybody should do what they want. As long as everybody else is obeying the law, I can break it. But if everybody is shooting down the highway, whatever speeds they want, all of a sudden we have a whole lot of accidents taking place if nobody is obeying the law. Anarchy destroys. And this is what's going to happen. The more liberal we get with everybody doing what they want and no more laws, okay, when we outlaw righteousness and we make laws making wickedness okay, the end result is we are going to reap a whirlwind. And society will basically collapse. And then the liberals will say, "Oops, I guess we do need laws, and we do need standards, and we do need to know what's right and wrong. And you watch. The pendulum will swing back, and the laws of God, except for one, will be enforced severely by man. If you come across a bird's nest beside the road, either in a tree or on the ground, and the mother is sitting on the young or on the eggs, do not take the mother with the young. You may take the young, but be sure to let the mother go, so that it may go well with you, and you may have a long life. Very important principle here. Think about it. When you build a new house, make a parapet around your house, so that you may not bring the guilt of bloodshed on your house if someone falls from the roof. The principle here is important in everything. We are responsible for the health of others under our care. If they come onto our property, into our presence, make sure that you protect them. Watch over them and keep them, that nothing on your property, in your presence, will hurt anyone. Do not plant two kinds of seed in your vineyard. If you do, not only the crops you plant, but also the fruit of the vineyard will be defiled. Do not plow with an ox and a donkey yoked together. Why? Well, because they're different creatures. They don't move the same. They're not the same height. It would be uncomfortable to them. Everything we do, we must think of the joy and happiness and comfort of others. Do not wear clothes of wool and linen woven together. Make tassels on the four corners of the cloak you wear. These tassels are quite interesting. Again, the people back then did not understand health laws. So God had to couch health laws under spiritual concepts. Back then, they didn't have fans and ways of securing themselves from flies that bring diseases. But if you have tassels that are moving around with you and you move your head, okay, those tassels are moving, which help keep the flies away. Very interesting, don't you think? If a man takes a wife, then after lying with her, dislikes her and slanders her and gives her a bad name, saying, I married this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find proof of her virginity. Then the girl's father and mother shall bring proof that she was a virgin to the town elders at the gate. The girl's father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. Now he has slandered her and said, I did not find your daughter to be a virgin. But here is the proof of my daughter's virginity. Then her parents shall display the cloth before the elders of the town, and the elders shall take the man and punish him. In everything in our lives, the whole purpose is justice, being good to people. We're not to be lying and hurting people for our own selfishness. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give him to the girl's father, because this man has given an Israelite virgin a bad name. So they give the shekels, the money, the compensation, to the father of the daughter. She shall continue to be his wife. He must not divorce her as long as he lives. If, however, the charge is true and no proof of the girl's virginity can be found, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and there the men of the town shall stone her to death. She has done a disgraceful thing in Israel by being promiscuous while still in her father's house. You must purge the evil from among you. If a man is found sleeping with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die. You must purge the evil from Israel. Psychiatrists, psychologists, sociologists are recognizing the importance of family. You break the bonds of family, And the natural order of things is it trickles down to the children, and society becomes disruptive and chaos reigns. You watch. You watch what takes place. Watch what takes place in the next 20, 30, 50 years. If a man happens to meet in a town a virgin pledged to be married, and he sleeps with her, you shall take them both to the gate of that town and stone them to death. The girl because she was in a town and did not scream for help, and the man because he violated another man's wife. You must purge the evil from among you. We must protect other people's property. You must protect families. But if out in the country a man happens to meet a girl pledged to be married and rapes her, only the man who has done this shall die. Do nothing to the girl. She has committed no sin deserving death. This case is like that of someone who attacks and murders his neighbor. For the man found the girl out in the country, and though the betrothed girl screamed, there was no one to rescue her. If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay the girl's father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the girl, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives. A man is not to marry his father's wife. He must not dishonor his father's bed. In everything that we do, God has the right principles. Our selfishness is what wants to break those principles. We want to do what's wrong and get away with it. We want society to allow us to break those rules because it feels good, because it's what I want to do. But it only destroys. As Christians, we are to serve others, to bless others, to help build up families and people, not tear them down and destroy them. We're not to use them and abuse them for our own good. You watch. Society around the world is falling apart because we are disobeying God's laws. But that pendulum is going to swing back. And the Bible has told us, prophesied, the world will be under dictatorship because governments will realize that people need to be controlled. That all this selfishness, all this me, I, what I want, all this freedom will be and is destructive to society. But if people would live the commandments of God in their hearts, doing voluntarily what God has commanded because they realize it's best to do to our neighbors what we want done to us, we wouldn't need these laws. You wouldn't need dictators. You wouldn't even need a government. And that's what heaven's all about. The only people going to heaven are those who recognize the justice and the rightness of God's laws and obey them from the heart. Thank you for being with me and Jesus Christ for another video Bible study.